Hello and welcome to Valkyries interviews. Today we have the fabulous Mel Todd. It's her. So excited. Oh, Mel, hi, how are you?
Hello, my darling. How are you doing?
I mean, any night I get to talk to you is a win, so I'm doing great.
Well, so obviously we should do this more often because it's a win for me too, and so we're not doing it often enough.
Yes, you know what? That is clear. It is time. We need some shenanigans.
Obviously, you need to come back through for meat and margaritas.
Yes, done. Done. We'll maybe film it if you're lucky, y'all. But for me, it's a win regardless. Oh my goodness. So, folks, you'll be watching this as we lead up to the release of the first ever Valkyries anthology. And so, taking this time to chat with a bunch of the amazing Valkyries authors, Mel Todd is one of the very first people I asked to be part of this project and turned in, unsurprisingly, an amazing story. So, you've probably met her before, internet people, but I hope this will let you have a little bit of fun, either getting to know her or getting to know her better, and get you really excited for her Valkyrie story, as you should be. So Mel, you ready for the question?
I'm ready. Unload.
Okay, here we go. What do you write, and why do you write it?
I write stories of wonder. Sorry, it's one of those things where if you go back to the old Pulp Fiction story stuff, like Philip K. Dick, Kenneth Robertson, all of those guys, they wrote stories of wonder. It didn't necessarily get categorized into fantasy and science fiction and swords and sorcery. It was literally stories of wonder. Ray Bradbury is a great example. And I tend to write stuff that doesn't fit well into genres. And it's one of the things that when I give lectures that I actually hit really hard. Genre is a marketing term. It has nothing to do with the story you're writing. It has to do with how you market it. So I try to write stories that are things that make you go, oh, that was neat, or I've never seen that before, or ooh, I'd like to do that. So, tongue in cheek, I write science fiction, fantasy, urban fantasy, everything else. But mostly I write stories of wonder because I want them to be stories that you read that aren't necessarily, oh, this fits in this little box, because I don't like
Mm-hmm.
boxes. Boxes aren't any fun. It's much more fun
We don't
to
need this.
creep over the edges and flow into other boxes.
I like the image of that too. Like, hello, here we are, here now. So good. Oh, I love it. Why? Why do you write these particular amazing genre fluid stories?
So I am one of those horrible people that has been reading since I can remember. I mean, literally, I can't remember ever not reading. And I'm also one of those people who just inhales books. If I was not writing, I'd be a whale reader. Everybody would be trying to seduce me to read their books because I would be a whale reader.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Yeah. I want to write stories that I don't always see. We're really good at writing the traditional stories where the chosen one, who's almost always male, gets plucked from obscurity and has to save the day, not knowing anything and anything else. And that's a great story. I've read a lot of them. I've read Harry Potter, and I've read the King Arthur stories, and I've read, Percy Jackson and all the rest of them. But there's a lot more variations that we can tell. We can tell stories about people who are gender fluid, because I grew up reading Ursula Le Guin, who is really, really good at that. We can write stories that are from a female's perspective, where we socialize differently than males. And I don't even mean it in a bad way. A man tends to be, I'm going to charge out there and I'm going to save the day. A woman tends to be, I'm going to get a group of friends around me and we're going to figure out how to fix this.
Mm-hmm.
So when I write, I get to tell the sort of stories that I'd like to read that I don't always see. And I mean, one of the best things that's happened since about 2010 or so is there are so many more stories out there. If you like anything, regardless of how teeny tiny it is, let's say you only want to read stories about sentient cars who travel the galaxy. I am pretty sure that there is a story out there. But that's half
Or
the
4.
fun. Or
Yeah.
4 or 100. But
Yeah.
that's half the fun is we get to tell stories that in traditional publishing you couldn't tell because you couldn't sell enough of them. But now I mean, who didn't love Herbie the Love Bug? I now need to write a Herbie the Love Bug story going to Mars.
I'm getting the sentient car theme for today. Yeah. So good.
I mean, but think about it. Tell me, was Herbie's fiction? Was it science fiction? Was it fantasy?
Right.
What was it?
Fun movie. Yeah.
And I don't know anybody who didn't love that movie. So I want to write the weird stories, the stories that aren't always meant for, that's not the right word. I want to write stories that are different enough that the general population can enjoy, but they spark joy in those people who have been hungry for that sort of story.
Yeah. Our fellow weirdos.
Yes, exactly. I have more than one.
I mean, that's how I do. So as people think about, okay, I need to go pick up a Mel Todd book or 10, and you should. What do you want people to know about your stories going in?
Do not assume that the thoughts of my characters express my personal politics, please.
Okay, yep, that's legit. That's legit.
My characters are not me. I mean, I don't think it's possible to write a character that doesn't have some aspect of me. And trust me, I can be brutal, I can be mean, I can be cruel, but I am not my characters, especially not my non-human characters. It's a running joke that one of my characters, his name's Carillion, he's constantly thinking that he needs to eat somebody because he's sure that human flesh will taste great with hot sauce. I have never been in a situation that I need to eat long pork. I would like to never be in a situation where I need to eat long pork.
Checks out.
If it is, I'm going to use hot sauce.
Just that's saying. The part that you have in common with him. I got it.
Yeah. Hot sauce covers everything.
Right. So going in, folks, you should know Mel Todd, not yet a cannibal. And and if she ever needs to be, she will have the hot sauce.
And honestly, here, let's give a shout out for product placement. It would probably be Frank's Red Hot sauce, because so far I found that Frank's will go with everything.
Regardless of meat.
So sure, it will work with long pork.
Not that we know, nor do we want to.
I don't know that this is not heartfelt tales from green fried tomatoes. Thank you very much.
Right. Okay. So do not assume based on characters that we are cannibal. I mean, that we are politics and our characters' politics are the same. That's amazing.
I'm going to have you choking by the end of this interview.
I just put my water further away from me on purpose. I'm still giggling. Mel Todd, the title of this video should be Mel Todd is not a cannibal yet. Look out for Franks.
Long pork works with hot sauce.
Right. Hot sauce will make it better. Like if you walk into Dragon Con with some Franks, I'm going to know that you have a goal for the weekend.
Yes. Put your arm in front of me. We will find out. Is
Mel chewing on Marisa? You know what? Don't ask questions. Let them be. Amazing. But that is a good one, right? Like, just because one of my characters thinks that X thing is stupid doesn't mean I think X thing is stupid. Like this, my book is not written to lecture you. We're exploring something through these characters.
Exactly.
Man, that's a great point. Speaking of wonderful books, what book do you love to recommend, or are you just super into right now?
Okay, so Jay Boyce has gotten me hooked on lit RPG stuff.
She would be the one, man. She's so talented.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I've been reading a lot of lit RPG, but and I gotta give a shout out to James Hunter because his stuff is great. Matt Dinneman is the other. But if you want stories Okay, I do not know why this woman is not a New York Times bestseller. Her name is Erin Hadley.
Uh-huh.
She has a couple series, and I just finished reading one of them, but the series that I want to talk about is called Gamer Girls.
Mm-hmm.
She writes about, so if you're my age or a little bit younger, you were gaming at the point that, oh, girls don't game. You don't know how to game if you're a girl. And all of us are sitting here going, dudes, we've been gaming longer than you've been alive. Go away.
Shoo shoo. Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
And it talks about some of the hatred that was involved in some of the absolute swatting, things that were
Oh.
done to women who were really high profile in the gaming world.
Mm-hmm.
And this story, they're technically romances,
Mm-hmm.
but they're so realistic, and they talk about, it's one of the few times where I've actually seen an addict be the main
Mm-hmm.
character, because
Mm.
the book one starts with a gal who got captured and was horribly tortured and everything else because she was upfront about gaming and was like selected to work for some of the huge gaming companies, and
Yeah.
men didn't like it.
Oh
And
dear.
so to deal with it, she started doing drugs. And I'm like going, yep, nope, totally get this.
Yeah.
But the series goes for either 6 or 7 books and talks about different women in gaming as you go through the series. And literally, they are probably some of the best books I have ever read, because they don't skimp on what it feels like to be harassed, what it feels
Mm-hmm.
like to be abused, what it feels like to be have somebody swat you. And if you don't
Mm-hmm.
know what swatting means,
Mm.
go look it up. It's not
Yeah.
fun. But just, I hate to say it, I didn't mean this to be so timely with what else is going on in the world right now, but it's a series I've been reading for about the last 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that good, and I can only hope to write as well as this author does. So
Nice.
seriously, it's called Gamer Girls by Erin Hadley. If you haven't read it and you like romance at all, it is
Mm.
worth reading, and you're going to be crying by the end of the series.
Oh man. Oh man. I love I love it. I love when my list gets longer with really good books. That sounds awesome.
Well, and she writes
Um
long books. I kid you not. Her books are like 600 pages. I mean, she's got to
okay.
be topping 150 to 200,000 on some of these books. They are
All
not little
right.
30, 40,000 word books.
Right. No, they're okay. Well, if you're gonna go
They're
really deep,
substantial.
yeah, if you're gonna go deep into emotions and playing all that out, you need time.
Okay, so here's an example. This is book
Mm-hmm.
3 or 4.
Okay.
One of the main characters races horses.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And I actually have friends that race horses and they do equestrian stuff and everything else. And I've been around horses most of my life. Well, a gaming company had contacted this character to do basically stop motion stuff with her horses to make the
Mm-hmm.
game super, super real.
Yeah.
As retaliation, somebody went in and shaved off the manes and cut off all the tails of the horses. And
What?
you're thinking, okay, so they don't have manes or tails. If you understand how desperately horses depend on their manes and
Need those
tails to keep
tails.
flies
Yeah.
off of them and
Yeah.
everything else, they basically set up these animals to be tortured, because that's how horses, that they flip their manes, they get the
Yeah.
flies off, and they flip their tails and stuff. And it's little details like that that tell you
Yeah.
this woman either is involved in the industry or she has
Yeah.
done her research.
Yeah.
But it's stuff like that that has just made me fall in love with this author. She has become one of my few instant buys, along with Patricia Briggs. Yeah, no,
Mm-hmm.
instant buy.
Yeah.
Oh, look, you wrote it. Mercedes
Yep,
Lackey.
it's mine.
Hi.
Not even gonna read about it, just buying it. Thank you so much. It's so good.
It's
Yeah.
purchased.
That's right. It's fine. It's already in my mailbox. Here we go. So in speaking of books that will someday be on people's instant buy, obviously, as we think about Valkyries, takes place in a shared universe called Hit World, which one
Yes.
of our other authors, Rob Howell, recently called genre gumbo, which I love and I think is spot on. So in our genre gumbo world of Hit World, everyone has a knack or a talent, and it just might be magical. What would yours be?
Okay, my knack or talent lately has just been to find shit dumping on me no matter what happens. I don't have a good one right now. You know how you call people drama llamas?
Mm-hmm.
I am a total drama llama. Not because I'm a drama llama, but because I have drama. I'm like standing here in the middle like this statue going, okay, I'll
Uh-huh.
deal with it.
Uh-huh.
I'll fix it. So
No.
apparently my magical talent is to attract drama. I
Okay.
don't like this talent. It
No,
sucks.
I don't like this for you, but I'm thinking in actual hit world then you would be like not the
The
scapegoat.
trouble
What is it?
magnet.
Like you send this person out to make the distraction because things are gonna happen to them, and then over here we'll go do our heist or our whatever. That's
That's me.
that's you. Got it. Or
I'm the person who will carry drinks out to somebody and trip over my own feet and throw the drinks over the most important person in the entire room and be standing there going, I am so sorry.
so that happened, and I'm gonna go back to my Frank's hot sauce. Thank you so much. Um, you could also though be potentially like a tabloid reporter because you would hear all the crazy things.
No,
No, okay. The first one,
no.
the
I've
decoy.
been
You're the
watching the
decoy.
Johnny Depp Amber Heard stuff.
Oh no,
No,
yeah, no, that's not going to be good for
no,
your soul. All right, so you're the
no.
person the team sends out to distract the
Yes.
thing, and or to help find out who the most important person in the room is. Because if you spill drinks on them, then now we know that's our target.
Either that
Mm,
or the second most important person in the world will be next to me as I'm getting a drink and they will then pour their heart out to me. And I
yeah.
will know every detail about every trauma in their life while I'm sitting here going, wow, no, that really sucked.
Mm,
Wow, really?
mm,
Oh, that was, mm-hmm. And you
yeah.
have seen this happen.
I have. I have witnessed this.
Mm-hmm.
I try not to be this person to Mel. I have witnessed or encountered this situation.
You're like, uh-huh. Oh, really? Okay. Is this whiskey? Please let this be whiskey.
Right. I'm gonna go refill her drink. I'll be back. I'll see you shortly. Okay, great. Yikes. Accurate. Okay. So a very well respected bartender slash decoy of a heist team. That is your hit world power. Got it. You got
It's
it.
not that glamorous, really.
I mean, that's the fun of hit world is very few of these towns are actually glamorous. They are gonna get you in trouble potentially. Yeah, no. All right, speed round. As speedy or not as you choose. Here we go. Ready? What is your
Mm-hmm.
theme song?
Raise Your Glass by Pink.
It's also mine. I love it so much. It's so good. I also love that you've heard the Dragon Con cover, right? Of it.
That's my favorite version.
I love it so much. It's so good. It's on YouTube, folks. You're already here. You can go Google after. It'd be great. Go to game night choice.
Munchkin.
Nice. That's also my. I already wrote my answers to my interview, so I'd like the record to show I'm not just copying Mel. We are just simpatico.
There's a
Well,
reason that her husband doesn't let us hang out too much together because there might be this, fusion reaction and the world wouldn't still be standing.
I don't know. He loved it that last time because he got meat. I got drunk. He got meat. Everyone was happy. It was great. um, we should be drinking margaritas right now. This would be more fun. It's already so fun.
I
Though,
have wine.
Okay, that's good.
I'm trying to be good. That's what this is. This is a white Zinfandel. See, look,
Very
it
nice.
says it's mostly worn off, but it says I can't adult today.
I love that. It's important.
I
It's
can't. I'm
important.
done.
Well, so that might bring us to what either existing sitcom would you star in, or if your life were a TV show, what would the title be?
Three's Company.
Excellent. The title of the show, though, could be I Won't Adult Today. Thank you so much.
Yeah, it'd be Three's Company called I Can't Adult Today. See, look,
Yeah.
there's one of
I
them.
love it. There's one of the adults from Three's Company. Special treat. Amazing. What is your favorite treat yourself moment or treat? What would you treat yourself with?
Spa days. I love spa days. I don't get them often enough. But massage and facial are like just my bomb.
Nice. Oh, it's brilliant. I love that. Team Beach or Team Mountains?
Yes.
Accurate.
I'm
Awesome.
sorry,
Yeah.
there's nothing better than a cabin in the mountains, especially if it's snowing. But at the same time, laying on a lawn chair with the water washing over your toes is just like heaven. So the answer is yes.
I agree. It's a both. I love like false choice questions where you're like, yeah, but also it's a yes and for me. Thank you so much. Yeah,
Yes.
that's fair. Favorite pizza toppings?
Peppercini.
Nice. Okay. Very nice.
There is something about the vinegar and peppercini that just makes the salt in the cheese and the meat just
Oh.
sing. If you've never tried it, I'm not a big pineapple or anything, but peppercini, everybody who I've introduced it to, if you like peppercini at all, are like, oh my God, this is so good. So try it once.
Nice. Good to know. Try it once. Thank Mel forever. I love it. What fictional character would you choose as a mentor?
Mentor.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, it would probably be Talia from Arrows of the Queen by Mercedes Lackey in the Valdemar series.
Okay.
She's
What would good?
She's not beautiful. She's not perfect, but she's real, and she's been there, and she understands the consequences of both action and non-action, and that sometimes not choosing is a choice. And I like the fact that she was never caught up on, oh, he's gorgeous. In fact, she was actively against it because very few of us are gorgeous. I mean, it would be nice if we were, but most of us are normal.
Yeah. Yep.
We're normal. We aren't cover models or anything. I think she would be very good at bringing me back down to earth because I tend to get caught up in my head a little bit too much, i.e. spiraling, fretting, stressing.
Fair. How would she do on a spa day? Would she go with you?
She would love it. Oh, heck yes.
Yes.
And what's even better is her husband would totally drive us and then have champagne waiting for us because her husband was totally head over heels for her.
Love it. If
you have not read Arrows of the Queen by Mercedes Lackey, so the World Series starts, God, it's a long series, but Arrows of the Queen was her first trilogy. And so it's the founding one and everything goes off on either direction. But you have magical horses that are actually spirits of reincarnated heralds. You have everybody has a different type of magic. You have a kingdom that's trying to struggle around all of these other kingdoms that want to take him over. It is a great series. If you've never read the Valdemar series, you're in for a treat. There are 3, 6, 9, 12, 14, almost 20 books in the series, and they're all probably closer to 25 at this point, but they're all set in trilogies that can be read as standalones.
Oh, wonderful. Okay.
So you don't have to read any of them in conjunction, except for maybe the 2 series about Elspeth, but the rest of them are all standalones. There's a couple standalone novels. It is an absolutely awesome series.
I must have read at least one, because I definitely went through a Mercedes Lackey phase, because I started reading everybody who had ever written with Anne McCaffrey when I ran out of Anne McCaffrey books. So I know I have read some of her books, and this sounds familiar, but I know I didn't read.
You probably read The Last Herald Mage with Daniel.
That sounds familiar, yeah.
Daniel was
does sound
dismissed because he was so effeminate, and then he found a lover at the Collegium, and the lover was killed trying to get revenge on the people who killed his family, and then Daniel was chosen. Yeah, no, it's a great series. Okay. And he has a reincarnated lover. Oh God, it's awesome.
Okay, amazing. So my next big time investment for books is Lois McMaster Bujold.
Oh yes, which series? She has a couple really good ones.
No, yeah, the really long one, that Miles.
I'm just about
to start.
Yeah,
just about to start Miles
again. Miles. Okay, you have to call me when you have read Miles so we can rave about him together because Miles is so awesome.
Okay, that will be next. I have several things to finish before I'm allowed to treat myself with that. But I've got the first 3 books just waiting for me. So
They're so
I'm very excited because I just read like Paladin of Souls and that whole series, and it's
That
so
trilogy
good.
is just, she writes fantasy and sci-fi so well. Just
It's
like,
so good.
I'm not worthy
I
levels of well.
know. When I grow up, I wanna write like I
Exactly.
wanna like me, but as well as her. So we'll see how that goes. Okay, morning or night person?
Afternoon. Okay, you know I'm not a night
Right, you're like
owl. You know this. I can
I
do
do, I
mornings, but
do.
if I had my
Mhm.
druthers, 7 a.m. would be morning. I don't, I can do
Yeah,
5 a.m. I don't like 5 a.m. 7 a.m. is my natural wake up time, but I tend to be most productive from about 11 to 3.
that's fair. I like this midday. That's a good spread of time. It's important. Okay, so thinking about your Valkyrie, so remembering your story, which now Mel has written a little while ago. She's one of the first ones to get her story in, so it's been a bit.
It's been a
But
bit.
it's been a bit. How would you introduce her to people? So these interviews are going to lead up to the release of the book. How would you tell them about
I
her?
would like you to meet Collateral, who has had life gut puncher, and she is still determined to take life as it comes. And she doesn't care if hell stands in her way, she's going on through.
That's right. Oh, I love her so much. What
I
are
love
3
Collateral.
words to describe her? Yeah, she's good.
Stubborn, indomitable, and principled.
Nice. Ooh, ooh, ooh. When those stubborn and those principled get in there too, look out, y'all. Um, what inspired the development of either Collateral or your story about her, or both?
So, as a general rule, most of the time when you have strong female characters in anything that's sci-fi military, they're always tall, they're always physically fit, and they're almost always super, super badass. So Sassenach with Mercedes
Mm,
Lackey, and not with Emma Caffrey.
yep, yep.
Sassenach. You have Kate Daniels from Alona Andrews. You have
Hmm.
Tanya Huff's characters. They are always like this. We can kick ass. We can take names. And don't get me wrong,
Yep.
I love it. And
Hmm.
never. And at the time that you approached me about the story, there was a lot of discussion about diversity in characters. And I thought about it and I went,
Hmm.
I've had lots of people I know get in car accidents that have either killed them or hurt them or anything else. What would
Hmm.
happen if I took a character who is technically crippled? And because I also have friends who have been in the military and been hit with IEDs, I have friends who
Hmm.
have been in car accidents where they're going to limp for the rest of their life. And none of that makes them any less of a person. They're still pretty
Hmm.
awesome because I can't imagine getting up every day and dealing with stuff like wearing a colostomy bag for the rest of your life, missing a foot for the
Hmm.
rest of your life,
Hmm.
missing an eye, missing a hand.
Hmm.
And in many ways, they're much more awesome as normal people than I ever will be because I would like to keep my hands. God, writing would be really hard without 2 hands. And so I started
Sure.
thinking about how do I write a character who most people look at and have pity for? And that's kind of
Yeah.
where it started from. Is I wanted to write somebody who didn't want the pity, but who didn't
Hmm.
fit anybody else's idea of normal or badass. And
Hmm.
yeah, I'm giving things away,
But she
but
fits
a
their
lot of it,
own, and I like that.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of it. There were lots of discussions about the fact that you rarely see anybody in a wheelchair on a fantasy
Hmm.
or sci-fi cover.
Hmm.
You rarely see anybody who's missing limbs, and if they are, it's almost always super obvious cyborg stuff where you can almost go,
Hmm.
"Oh, they chose to do it."
Hmm.
I just wanted to write somebody who had to overcome adversity, and that's part of what drives them.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. I love
I'm
it.
weird.
I mean, I think because to your point about collateral, she is not there for anybody's pity, but she will use that to get what she wants if she needs
Well,
to.
yes,
Okay, like it's another tool in my arsenal, y'all. What are you gonna do? It's
exactly.
she's she's the unstoppable force meeting some immovable objects, and it's kind of amazing. Um, just get ready, y'all, to read about it. All right, what actor would be perfect to play one of your characters?
One of my characters are collateral.
One of
I
your
have lots
characters
of
doesn't have to be
characters.
collateral. Yeah, it doesn't have to be. You can pick anybody that you've been
Oh,
thinking about.
Lordy, did I know? So, I cannot remember the actress's name right now, but do you remember the actress that played Deja Thoris in the John Carter of Mars series?
Yes.
Movie. I always
Yes.
wanted her to play the main character of my Caled series because she was
Oh.
both pretty without being beautiful and
Mm,
hard without being masculine, if that
mm,
makes sense. I've
yeah.
always liked the way that actress works. I mean, granted, I would like kiss the ground she walked on if Sandra Bullock ever wanted to play anything I wrote.
Would you
David
ever? Just keep your face.
Dane, Bruce Willis, but
Hmm.
that was the actor that when you're doing your little character studies, that was the
Yep.
actress that I picked for that character because I just thought
Nice.
that she could play it with being both pretty but not beautiful.
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
sometimes so I'll tell you a dark secret that isn't all that dark. I
I love
actually
it.
really like watching British TV
Hmm.
because the actors they have in British TV are much more realistic than the actors we have in American TV.
Mm, I
American
can see
TV
that.
actors are almost always gorgeous.
Yeah.
Unless they are specifically playing a villain,
Character.
in which case
Yeah.
ugly is acceptable,
Yeah.
they're always gorgeous. And if you watch British TV, you have acne, you have twisted noses, you have the world's worst teeth. Oh my God, guys, go to a
Just
dentist.
normal people. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you have a lot more people who are much more relatable. And I like that
Yeah.
idea because I don't think it's realistic. In fact, it's one of my soapboxes to
Hmm.
always have beautiful people.
Yeah. Yeah.
See, I stopped. I
There's
did get on my shit soapbox.
it's good. I liked it. I liked it. And it's true, right? Like, and there are so many ways genuinely to be beautiful. Like, I find when somebody lights up talking about something they're passionate about, I find that beautiful. But that's not what TV tells us is beautiful, or
Exactly.
books even, like it's a very specific, because there are some people, like, I could tell you what they look like, but I probably wouldn't lead with it because I'd be like, oh my God, when they started talking about whatever thing and they were like, their soul was in it, they were so like, that's what I'm going to describe them as, 'cause, anyway, so yes, the range of people and how we are beautiful in our own way. Anyway, okay. What is your favorite thing about Hit World, Collateral, or Badass Ladies in general?
I like the idea that it's such a stretchy world. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I could take almost anything and figure out how to fit it into this world concept. It's really interesting. And I like the idea of having a character. Okay, let's say I don't want to necessarily give things away, but have a character who is playing on multiple levels. And as a
Mm-hmm.
writer, it's actually relatively challenging to write somebody who's playing a game on multiple levels.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
I like the fact that it's set up to actually do this because there's no way in this world you're not out for number one, regardless of what you say.
Yep. Yep.
You just are.
So, Hit World, folks, you may or may not know, you probably know. In Hit World, murder is legal if you pay the right people and have the right contracts. So basically, anything is legal if you pay the right people and have the right contracts, which is a little bit true here too. But it's fine. We're talking about urban fantasy world, and so you've got this world in which not only is murder legal and just about everything legal, but also everything you could ever imagine is real. And most people don't know about it. So there's magic, there's other dimensions, there's fairies and vampires and mummies and anything. I don't know that all of those things have shown up in Hit World yet, but they probably will because they can. And so that is basically a world made for, like you said, like a double cross, a triple cross, a quadruple cross, or somebody who is friends with this person and friends with this person, but here's this thing I gotta do. So sorry, I gotta take care of the thing I gotta take care of.
If you get in my way, I will kill you, and I'll feel bad about it, but I'm not gonna stop.
I'll be sad, but it's not gonna change my behavior. So
Exactly.
yeah, that's fair. There's a lot of room to play in Hit World, and a thing that is really exciting about this anthology is very few of these stories are just like one level stories. There's so much going on. Either somebody is discovering the whole world is not what they thought it was, or they thought they were one kind of person, but they're actually a different kind of person. There's a lot of multiple layer stories going on. And I'm very excited about it.
So one of the things that I really had fun with in Hit World is, have you read Ilona Andrews' Hidden Legacy series?
I haven't. I've heard about it,
Okay.
but haven't read it.
So at one point, they talk about the fact that there's this entire website that's devoted to basically fan fiction about the super powerful people in this world. You know, oh, he smiled at me, and yeah, whatever. It's fan fiction. But I actually leveraged that in this story because information filters through our brains in ways that we don't always pay attention to. And it occurred to me that this information would come out in fiction. And that's how this character figures out a lot of this, is when you read all of this fiction, you start pulling out these little grains of truth. Because if somebody consistently says, oh, there's a silver lining on the clouds, and then this person says this, and you start going, okay, maybe there might be a silver lining that I can't see.
Yeah.
And that's how she put together everything that was going on with Hit World that gave her so much power, is even when you're under NDAs and you're not supposed to talk about it, little things slip out and they get into our consciousness. And I'm talking our collective consciousness because we're totally into how information transposes. And if you talk to your husband, let's say you talk to your husband one day, and you're like, so did you do anything interesting at work today? And he's like, not at all. Didn't do a thing. You're going to be going, something happened.
Yeah, something happened.
What the heck happened? And you're going to start crying out this little information. And even if he never tells you the entire story, you can get little details. And those little details will filter into when you talk to a friend, when you talk to me.
Yeah.
And I take that little detail and go, oh, that could be fun. Huh, what could I do with that?
It shows up in a story.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so that's half of the fun of getting to tell stories in a world that is as flexible as this, is that little things are going to slip through because people suck.
Right. I mean,
you can only keep
nobody keeps secrets.
One of them's dead.
That's right. Which is such a great phrase, unfortunately. Like, somebody's going to find out something on purpose or not. Yikes. All right. So speaking of dirty secrets, no. But what should I have asked you that I didn't?
Where am I going to be later this year?
Where are you going to be later this year, Mel? Where can people find you?
I get to see you, I think, at LibertyCon. Yes. And then I get to see you again at DragonCon.
Yes.
So, see, my year is made. I get to see Marisa twice. So, I'm honestly, on other things, I've got another book coming out. It should be book 6. Yes, book 6 in my Twisted Luck series.
Yes.
I've got a bunch of short stories that have been option / purchase / whatever you want to call it in other anthologies. I have a garden that I'm going to spend most of my day tomorrow working in because I got sick last weekend. I did Up Kiss, which means important. Are almost as tall as I am, which is a bad look.
Right. Spring in Georgia.
Oh, here.
Yep.
Because
kitty photo bomb. Kitty photo bomb.
Right.
That's fair.
Oh, you're gonna. Okay. I'll sit here for this.
Yeah. She's like, okay, thank you. This is worth it. Face like, yes, thank you.
This is tolerable, huh? She's like, this is not my idea. Why are you
She's like,
holding
I'm not going to look directly into the camera. I don't, no evidence, no paparazzi. So
Ah,
gardening.
cat.
I mean, that's what happens.
Garden, Mother's Day, because we're doing this the Mother's Day weekend. Mostly garden. I should have 5 million peppers and tomatoes because, no, like seriously, lots and lots and lots. I have to plant cucumber. Yeah, I have a lot of work to do tomorrow.
So busy. I love it. I love it. But also, the rest that you had last weekend was important. So
That there was, yeah, there
I
was
know.
that rest.
I mean, that part is less fun, but yeah, important. What
You're sick,
question?
you don't even feel guilty about not writing.
Yep. Yep, that happened to me a couple weeks ago. Ugh. Ugh.
Yeah.
Ugh. And I couldn't say words in a logical manner, never mind try to write them. So that was not
Exactly.
work out. Yeah. What question do you have for me?
So what's the expected publish date?
Summer. So fun fact, while I was very sick, my computer crashed and did it in such a way that it restored old versions of all the documents I had open. So
Ooh.
that included the story that I have for this anthology. So the story I have for this anthology is almost done for the second time. Once it's done, I should be able to pass it in. So we should still be on track for a summer release. So these interviews will start going out mid-May, and then we'll have them come out every week, and that should lead right up to the release of.
So is Bill gonna read all of these stories and give him their thumbs up, or are you completely running with this?
I'm running with this. I've run a couple things by him, and every time I'm the boss. Yep. I'm not the boss of Hit World, to be clear. Bill and Larry Hoy, the creators of Hit World, are still the boss of Hit World. But I've been given an awful lot of free reign for Valkyries, which is amazing, and I'm taking it. So, yeah. So we should have that passed in a couple weeks. Yeah, it should be really fun. And they are, rumor has it that both Larry and Bill are going to contribute an intro to the anthology, which should be really fun. And by rumor has it, I mean I've read Larry's and it's fantastic. And I don't just say that because he says nice things about me at threat of gunpoint. It's fine. So it's going to be great.
The
So
reason
yeah,
that exists is to make people do things they should do in the first place.
I mean, that's what I hear. I mean, that's rumor. So, but yeah, so summer should be Valkyries. And then by the end of the year, we should have 2 novels out. And then next year, maybe more novels out.
Oh God, I gotta start writing faster.
Same, girl, same.
I live in a state of I am behind. I owe like 5 short stories, and I don't even write lots of short stories, and I owe like 5 of them. And then I've got to start doing book 7 of my Twisted Luck series. And then see that painting behind me? I have a fantasy novel epic fantasy novel that I want to write based off of that. I need a month on a ship in the middle of nowhere with no internet, nobody to talk to, and a computer that just automatically uploads to the cloud because computers crashing.
Making up new errors that you haven't seen. Right. I need a dedicated satellite that will follow to upload my things as I write them and also maybe edit as I send them. Great. Let's get on that.
Dreaming.
I'm with you.
A personal chef. Not much. I'm not asking for that much. Masseuse?
I say at some point, yeah, masseuse, right? Please make my meals and massage and also work out for me. Yeah, that you do all those things. Take care of them. I can
actually handle the rest of it. Somebody will cook for me and then give me a massage because of all the hours I'm gonna spend like this. I can handle everything else. I can clean my own room. I can go swimming in the Caribbean. I'm fine with this.
Oh, sure. So the boat is in the Caribbean, is it? Okay, got it.
Caribbean or Mediterranean. I mean, one
Right,
of
a
the two.
warmish sea would be important for this. I like it. Well, Mel, thank you so much for coming and chatting with me today. You are wonderful as always.
Always.
Always. Folks, this has been Valkyrie's interview with Mel Todd. She's the best. You will get to meet Collateral yourself in just a little while here, so stay tuned. And we can't wait to hear what you think, because I feel like Collateral's story is not over, so we're probably going to see her again.
Well, so remember, if you want to find me, you can find me on Badass Publishing. I am on Facebook under Mel Todd Author, Instagram, Twitter, Badass Books, and someday I will figure out TikTok. So far, I've managed to be permanently banned twice.
Great. I still don't understand how any of that happened, but and we'll also have the link.
That terrifying of a person
That good.
that TikTok is worried that I will take over their platform.
Because you're a cannibal. So she's not a cannibal. But we'll have the links below here when this is up in the world. So you will all be good to follow Mel to the ends of the earth, as you should always. So thanks for joining us, folks. And yeah, she probably won't eat you. But again, if she comes at you with hot sauce. Okay, that's it. It's fine. Nothing. It's all good. All right. Bye, y'all.